Okay, hey guys, this is BioSquirrel here. I'm going to give you a basic Photoshop tutorial. This version of Photoshop I'm using is the free one, also known as CS2. Right here I'll post the link to one of my videos showing you how to get the whole CS2 pack for free. So what I'd like to show you is just the basics of Photoshop. So you'll be able to create some minor pictures, edit some banners, whatever might be necessary for you. Well, let's start out with, I have a photo here of my logo, BioSquirrel, and what it's composed of is layers. As you can see down here, we have all the layers. For example, I have sketch lines, as you can see. This button out here enables you to disable or enable the different layers you have. So you can see them without. For example, this is without the sketch lines. We could try without the nails, and you'll see it will turn completely black. For example, removing some of the shadows. Yeah, as you can see, it's all layers that makes the picture what it is. And for example, it's created like this. Where is it? For example, the halo beneath here to give it some kind of shadowing effect, and all that. But yeah, just to show you how it is. So you have these layers here, and for each layer you're able to create some effects. Those are called layer styles. To change those, there's this F down here. Press that and press blending options. When you go in here, you'll get a lot of different options. For example, drop shadow, and you can see it enables some shadow within the lab coat. It's because I've chosen the lab coat layer. You can add inner shadow, whatever suits your needs. Some glow, inner glow, and you can change those. For example, I want a red glow. Go up here and choose the red one. But I like a big one. So let's change the size. Okay, apparently I can't. Let's try outer glow. Yeah, that one I can. And yeah, as you can see, the code will start glowing because it's the selected object. But let's try and create a new image, a new PSD. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to create, let's say, a banner for a website, just to show off. This is the background layer. It's the basic one. I'm always gonna create a new one. What I'll do in this one, I'll use some of all the tools we have here to show you just an average of the basics tools and what they're used for. For example, if you right click on this one, you'll get a gradient tool. Choose that one, and you can go up here and choose your gradient. Let's just do some examples here. I'm gonna pull this down here and I get this image. If I don't pull it that far, the yellow line will be smaller. So this is a nice gradient. Let's try this one here, like that. That's big. That's a classic gradient, I'd say. But let's try and do some cutting in it. You can do the basic selection of some point in the area, for example, a square, using this tool up here. You can change it to elliptical, single row or single column. What you can do now when you've chosen a part, you can either drag it around, you could delete it, and you can see this is the layer beneath you're able to see. As an example, the layer is in order. For example, this is the the furthest back layer, and this is the layer above it. So if we take this one and drag it beneath here, I can't because it's a background layer, but let me create a new one. And deselect. And you can see we are able to, okay, that might not be the best, like this. We're able to change what's visible. So if we delete that one we just created, and you do that by selecting the layer here, selecting the trash can. Yes, I would like to delete layer 2. So let's go back and erase this square we just made in the layer. By that you go to the history up here, and I've just chosen a few, let's see, I need to go back here after clear, so delete that one, and it's all back there. You can always use this one if you want to, for example, go way back and see what you've done, and restore from that point on. You can't just delete a single selection, you will delete all that's done between, for example, moving selection and deselect. This one will also be deleted. But yeah, let's try and create something for website. No specific point. You could use the polygon lasso, the regular lasso, or the magnetic lasso. The lasso tool is great if you want to do some hand cutting in an image or something like that. This is ugly vase, and you can take it, drag it around by holding control down. You can copy, you can delete it, whatever. What I sometimes use is the polygon lasso. So if we take one point here and you keep left shift hold down, you'll get straight lines with 45-degree angles. So let's try and create some here. Just gonna create minor template. Just a fast one, like that. Now I've selected this, and if I press delete, I'll delete that area. Now let's say this is gonna be some kind of frame for something on a website. I have no example. We can give it a bit texture and a bit depth. By that you can either double click on the layer, or you can press down here on the F to go to blending options. I always double click, it's fast. So what we could do is we could add some shadow. I will give it a bit depth. Oh well, let me just deselect the area so it doesn't annoy you. You do that by Control D and you deselect it. So let's add some shadow, and we could add, if we add some size to it and some spread, we'll get a nice shadow. And yeah, the opacity is how visible it is. For example, 0 that shows nothing of the shadow. So if we go to 70, that's around there. That's pretty good here. All right. We could add inner shadow. I wouldn't recommend it in this picture. Some bevel gives the area a bit depth, as you can see. It like softens the edge, as you can see on this image also. We could soften it a bit more if we want to, and the depth. Let's change that. That gives it a bit of texture and contour. And as you can see here, we can add a bit more contour. I like it there. Now it looks like it's a bit 3D-ish image or frame or whatever. For example, I don't like this area down here, and while I've selected that layer, I'm still able to, even though I've used the effects, to go in here and just gonna do some cutting. Need a bit more. Okay, I can't do that anyway. Like that. and like that, and I can just delete it and deselect. Okay, there's an edge there, but at any rate, you can do that, and it will still add the blending options on it. So let's try something else. We're gonna add another layer, and we want to create something in the middle. Let's say a smiley face, or anything that might exceed these limits. You can go in here and let's take a ellipse tool. And we're gonna create a big smiley face. I'm sorry. And you can see it will lay above the layer here. We're gonna give it, let's see, great yellow color. There. Oh, it's more green. And we're gonna right click on this and choose painting bucket. And as you can see, I've just created a yellow dot. Let's give it some eyes. And I'm just gonna choose, let's choose the ellipse tool again. And we could take a black eye. What I usually do is I press Ctrl C and I'll press Ctrl V. And then I use the control and I can drag it around and place the same shape, the same size, pretty easy. And then I press Ctrl D. I'm sorry, not in this area, but yeah, we have it there, and we're gonna create a mouth. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a big ellipse here, and then I'm gonna cut something off it so I get like a half moon. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna check the shapes, elliptical tool, and I'm gonna do like this. And I'm gonna press delete. And it deleted everything apparently. Okay, it's because this is a shape, this is an object now. I need to, let's see, create a smart object. And I should be able to do it now. Still not, I'm sorry, I couldn't do it. Anyway, what I can do is I can add another circle on it, and I'm gonna take the same color as that one before, and I'm just gonna do like this, and it's still black. Why? Like that. Good. And let's select another object. But as you can see, this is just some of the basics on how Photoshop works. And if, for example, this looks stupid, if we want to have the smiley behind the border, we just take layer 1 and drag it up front. And as you can see, it just got behind the border. It's like in a frame now. We could temper the eyes by double clicking on the shape and get into the layer style blending option. We could give them some outer glow, make them look really sick. Let's see. Like that. And for this, you can start to see the yellow circle we have in the middle. I'm gonna drag that beneath here. I'm sorry, and that one beneath here. And the red circle here, if I enlarge them again, they should go above it, just as showing off the layers and how they work. Yeah, so by doing this you can start creating maybe a bit 3D-ish images. not the best one, but it's a great start. As you can see, it just gives it a bit of texture and yeah, depth. For example, I usually create some images for my YouTube channel, and let's try and take a look at some image you might use as a thumbnail for your YouTube channel. Let me just find a new video, image. YouTube. That's one. For example, I used this one for one of my latest videos. This one is just a direct copy of a game inside a game, and yeah, the quality is not that great for it. Let me get down to 100%, and this is how it's how it really looks like. But to change the for example the filter or the overlay of the image, you can go to filter and go to filter gallery. What this does is it gives you a lot of options how to change the picture. For example, now it's a bit sketchy, and you can change the brush size. If, for example, you take a white brush, you'll get a less detailed object, and this might look a bit like oil painting now. We can lower the texture and it gets a bit better. And if we lower the brush detail like this, as you can see, you can create some really cool images with it. There's a lot of different effects you can use here, and try and play around with them. You might find something that fits your needs, or it just goes into place. For example, this is a plasticky wrap that it looks like. It takes all the contours and textures and gives them a whitish look. It looks really funny though. This is a palette knife. I don't know how to use that, but anyway, you can create some. Yeah, this might look like an oil painting or something like that. Yeah. Let's see what's else here. Some accented edges, angled strokes. Yeah, there's a lot of great here. Try and play around with it. You can create some great pictures, and remember, there's always these functions up here you can tamper with. Stroke pressure, contrast, diffuse glow. That creates like a ghosty image. So we have even sketchy images. Oh, this is a chrome. This looks weird. And these are just textures. But basically that's how you use the filter gallery. But also, if you want to, you can add some just some blur. For example, let's add some motion blur. This is good if you have an image that's going to look like, for example, a guy running. You could add this as a background, and you could cut this guy out in the foreground. Actually, let's try that. So I'm gonna just create a new layer, but I'm gonna select the background layer. So I'm gonna use the magnetic lasso tool. I'm just gonna drag around him, and as you can see, it kind of picks up the points. If it doesn't, I'm just gonna click once and it's gonna pick up the point. I usually use this one. It's the fastest tool and it's kind of easy to use. As you can see, it's quite good to recognize the edges and stuff like that. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna copy this guy to another layer. He's pretty clear now in this layer. So we're gonna copy him, press this layer and press Control V to copy him. So if we delete that one, he'll be in the next layer. As you can see, I didn't use the best time of cutting him out nicely. But anyway, just tutorial. Go to filter, you choose the background here, choose blur, motion blur, and we can give it a bit of motion, and you can see it looks like he's running and the other two are running too. You could copy them out and do the exact same if you want to, but this gives us a bit of 3D feeling and changes the focus on this guy. Yeah, as you could see here, there's a lot of really cool options here, and it's just go ahead, play with them, try it out. It's worth the time. But the blur here, I personally think it's the coolest one, and you're able to create the coolest pictures with it, so try it out. You might find some of the same as you find in the filter gallery, but there's still a lot in here. This was basically how to use Photoshop, and it's not all. Believe me, it's not all. There's so much, but if you know these tricks and parts, you will be able to use Photoshop and maybe create a bit of 3D image, whatever your need is, and it will be enough to play around with it. What I'd also like to show you is how to add text. For example, I'd like to give this a text. So I just created a new layer, but now I've chosen this one when I create a new layer, so it will create a new layer above it. So I need to drag this up here, so it's the first layer. It's the first layer against me. So if we just take a black font or a black color and press here, I'm gonna give this a title or whatever, and I'm gonna select the area I want to type in. I've used a pretty big font, but let's check 172. All this is just like regular Word. It's how you change your font size, your font, all that. Yeah. And here's the color, and you can even make the text warp, do whatever you want, the bend, yeah. Play around with it, take a look. I'm just gonna try out here. This is a test, and I'm just gonna take this down here. As you can see, this is just basically the font I'm using, laying above the picture and the image. You can see it's above the guy we just created. We could also do like this, and the guy beneath it will get above it. If we want to do like a 3D or something like that text, we can go in here, double click as you've used before. What I usually do is I add drop shadow, and I change it to another color that picks out a bit more. Let's try a green one here, or a red one. That could be nice. And let's do like this. This created a red shadow, and I can drag the shadow around if I want to. You can also control the shadow. Here it's like a clock. It shows you where the sun is shining from against that object. So if the sun is shining from this area, the object will appear here. So this is the object. But the easiest part, just drag around it and choose where you want it. Let's add some, well, some bevel. It's like, yeah, nah, it doesn't look so good here. This one, for example, that's a bit of 3D feeling, maybe a bit of plastic too. But you can see just by using the blending option, you can change the image so much. For example, if you want a stroke around it, just use the stroke here, and you can add a thin black, red stroke, whatever you need is. You can add a color above it as a color overlay or as satin. But satin is more like a shade. Color overlay is is the total color. For example, this, if I use this and add the shade over it, like that, we'll get a pretty neat text here, as you can see. But yeah, this is just an example of what you can do in this program. I'd really advise you to play around with it, do some different images, just like this one. If you have any question, please write in the comment below. If you like the video, thumbs up, and yeah, just need to download Photoshop. You can find it in one of my videos. I'll be linking it right here on the screen. And yeah, that's it. If you want to see more of this, subscribe. Thanks for watching. See ya.